HarperCollins presents Kilted Lovers by Megan Clawson. Read by Heather Long. For all of us who were told that true love only exists in fairy tales and silly little romance books, that was just an excuse for them to do the bare minimum. Dump the pillock. Chapter 1. Finding true love when you have a noble title is as much of a myth as fairy godmothers, talking candelabras and magic mirrors. My mother's hand was won by a duke, and my grandfather found his own princess, but a peerage alone is not enough to make a fairy tale. Cinderella would have certainly been a far less romantic fable had Prince Charming given his eponymous princess a spreadsheet of when and where she was allowed to hold his hand. No one would have stuck around for the ending of Beauty and the Beast had the household decided to remain forever cursed, to watch the castle crumble rather than allow a commoner to marry into the family. Snow White would have never been granted her happily ever after had the press caught wind of her living arrangements and decided that she was too much of a hussy to deserve the hand of their precious prince. I call it our family curse. Perhaps it's reparations for history, or as payment for believing ourselves to be second only to God, but we are destined to be eternally unhappy in love. What is the point in crowns and castles if at the end of all your days you are perpetually alone? No one will bother to write the love story of Lady Alice Walpole. Even I cannot find the romance in my present situation, draped over the lap of the heir to the Fortnum and Mason fortune, trying to sound interested as he talks about how much he detests tea for the 5th time this hour. It just hurts, doesn't it? It's so hot. Music! I cut him off and get to my feet before he can utter another mind-numbing syllable. This sad party is lacking in many things, most notably in the quality of company, I announce, adding the parenthesis in a murmur. But it is music that I believe I am most desirous of. Don't you agree, Barty? T-Boy makes a series of posh vocalisations in a bumbling attempt to concur. In the drawing room of Barty's grandparents' Kensington townhouse, the new adults of the British elites have gathered to sip martinis from crystal glasses and chase them down with cheap cigarettes. Quite the juxtaposition. But they always like to pretend they're down to earth when they're trundling down to the local off-licence after one whiff of imported vodka. Yes, some fucking music, please. A rasping voice speaks up from behind the haze of the room. Kitty Harley King, daughter of a billionaire. Her thing is that she swears like a sailor, but with about as much conviction as a priest repeating the words of a sinner back to him during confession. The heiress's education cost her parents close to $2.5 million at a boarding school in Luxembourg, and somehow the only skill sets she acquired were how to pick out the most expensive wine from the smell alone, and how to curse her mother in every way possible whilst spending her billions liberally. But she's harmless, and the most tolerable of the bunch. Kitty glides across the room as though propelled by her boyfriend's cigar smoke, pluming under the folds of her dress. Dancing between the furniture as if she has already conjured the cadences of a song in her mind, her bare feet slap the marble floor before she stretches out a finger to finally hit play. A record spins on a rusting gramophone, but the drum and bass music that is emitted from it is crystal clear. Oh, what an absolute tune! Hugo Maddox, the Queen's godson, takes another drag from his cigarette and rests his head against the arm of the chaise longue, in the way that one would as one listens to Bach or a particularly moving Chopin, as opposed to chastened status. It's ironic, really. They strive so hard to create an illusion of class and history, but it's all just powered by a mistreated iPhone connected via an aux cable. I say they, but I suppose it is really we. Just like them, I am here in this room of my own volition, trying to scrape together just enough serotonin from socialisation and a little tipple so that I don't lose my mind. Not one of them knows when my birthday is, or any of my middle names. All they know is that my father is the largest landowner in the country
Sample complete. Ready to continue?